Hi guys, this is Kelley, aka Kelley the Great, and today I will be talking to you how to build the perfect relationship for you, right? So when we think about relationships, we think about maybe a boyfriend, girlfriend, a spouse, a soulmate, or whatever the case may be. But literally, relationships are the basis of the world. If you do not have healthy relationships, how do you have a healthy environment? Relationships are your relationship with food, your relationship with your body, the relationship that you have with your spouse, your boss. Everything is built on relationships. So as much as we want to put it on the back burner, like, oh, I don't want a relationship, your whole life is built on relationship, honey. Everything. So check. All right. So when we're talking about relationship and creating these specific relationships that are so good for us, I believe that in order to have the relationship that you want, you have to have the best relationship with yourself. It's inevitable, right? So how can you go out and get what you want if you don't know exactly what you want because you don't know you? Right? So that means you have to spend time with yourself. You have to talk to yourself. And I know that sounds a little crazy, but it's true. You have to spend time with yourself, talk to yourself. You have to get to know yourself. You got to take yourself out on dates. You got to figure out what you like to eat, what you like to do, the type of people that you like to be around, the music that you like to listen to, your atmosphere. You have to be so obsessed and in love with yourself before you can get to know and understand something else that is kind of sickening, right? So that kind of gets to the point like, oh, maybe I need to go hang out with people because I am just too comfortable with myself, right? And so in the midst of building these relationships, and we talk about you knowing yourself and to maybe a point where you didn't know yourself. And I think that's all of us, right? So I can even vouch for myself when I was maybe in high school or even in college. Like I didn't know myself like that. Like I didn't know what I liked and disliked and the type of people that I really wanted to be around, or even the type of person that I do. Like hell, like I just got to the conclusion maybe years ago of exactly what I wanted to do with my life. And that took time. And that took time alone, right? For me to really get to know who I am as a person. So I say that to say who you are before is not who you are now. Who you liked before, who you enjoyed being around, your job, that may not be what you want now. And until you really take that time to analyze that, then you do not know, right? And so when you do know, it's a great thing because now you can start attracting the life that you really want to live. And I think that is so funny when we get into relationships. And upon this talk, we're going to talk about relationships with spouses so it can be more relatable to you guys when you're using it in everyday life for the rest of your relationships, right? When people get into these relationships and they say they cheated or they act like this or they never want to do this or they don't like doing this with me or I have to do this all by myself, it's not them. It's always you. And the reason why it's always you is because you determine the relationship that you want. If you knew who you were and if you knew what you wanted, that wouldn't even be a factor because you would know all of the ingredients that you wanted to have before you put it in that relationship. So now you built a relationship off of this person isn't fun to you. They don't like to do the same things that you like to do. They like to read. You like to work out. They like to eat crap. You like to eat really healthy or whatever the case may be. All of these things are not the right ingredients that fit into your makeup of having that perfect relationship for yourself. So when we think about relationships, I'm just going to lay it out for you and I'm going to kind of write on my board. I hope you can see this a little bit. If you can't, I'll try to just adjust it a little bit. And I'm just going to use it in relation to your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever type of relationship that you have so you guys will be able to understand. So say we are going to the store and we're going to go get the ingredients for the cake, right? We want to make this magnificent cake. And I'm using cake because my mom's birthday is on Thanksgiving. Hi, Mom. And we want to make this magnificent cake, right? We want everybody to love it. We want to love it. We want to enjoy it. We just want to be like, this cake was so good. I did that. Right? And so let's just think about it. As a child, we don't know what goes in the cakes. We know mom brought a cake and it tastes good and boom, life was good. Right? But we don't know what it took to have that cake or to make that cake or to buy that cake or anything like that. So we don't know the ingredients. So we may not respect it or we may not understand it. Right? So it takes time for us to get to that point. So let's just think about it. Right? So this is what we do. Right? Before we know how to make a cake and even when we do know how to make a cake, I'll just give you two different scenarios. And so what I want to do is write cake on the board, right? And cake, if you guys can see that, I know it looks a little cray-cray. And then we're going to write spouse, right? Because what you guys don't know It's the same. All right, so we're going to the store and we're getting a cake, right? And maybe if we've never made a cake before, we don't know what the heck we're doing, and we're gonna pretend that Google does not exist. And we're just going to the store like, ooh, I'm gonna get this because this tastes good. I'm gonna get that because that tastes good. And we put all these ingredients, and it doesn't taste like cake, it tastes like shit, right? Because those are not the right ingredients for that cake, for that magnificent cake. But finally, when we learn that secret recipe, right, we go to the store, we buy the best ingredients. We get that really good milk. Ooh, and Kelly's not a speller. Science. And then we get butter. We want quality butter. And then we get flour, baking flour. And then we get sugar. And then we get icing. We'll just say those are the ingredients for the cake, right? And so all of these ingredients have now formulated the mastermind, the cake that we want to have, and everybody's going to enjoy it, and we're going to love it, and we're not even going to second guess it, because guess what? We knew exactly how this cake was supposed to taste, right? So we grew up. We finally learned the ingredients of the cake. We cooked an amazing cake. Everybody loves the cake. Mom loves the cake. And we're satisfied. Life is good. It's great. So let's move over to the spouse side, right? When we're shopping for a spouse, and men, gentlemen, ladies, you do shop because you look around, right? And you find somebody that could possibly complement you. But if you don't know what it takes to go into that relationship or into that spouse, you're not going to choose someone that is good enough for you. You know, they don't have to be perfect, but they're not perfect for you, because guess what? You don't even know what goes into it. So how can you say, this is what I want, that is what I want? So let's just say we don't know yet. I'm just going to tilt this just a little bit. So say we don't know what we want, right? And so we're just going to be like, oh, let me see. I am going to, oh, he is fine. She is fine. They smell really good. They are super tall or super short, and I really like that. They have a really small stomach, or they have really big boobs, or they have really big butt. Oh, he has a nice back, a nice chest. This, that, and that. All these amazing things, right? And we put them into the recipe of find a woman, find a male. And they come out, and they don't taste like what you thought it would taste like. They aren't fun as you thought they would be. They aren't able to have a conversation the way you thought they could. They aren't able to relate to you the way you want them to relate to you. They don't respect the same type of foods that you eat, because they don't eat like that, right? And why is that? What were the ingredients that you put in there? You didn't know exactly what you wanted because you didn't know who you were, right? So in the midst of you finally knowing who you were, you can expect to get certain type of results from superficial ingredients or subpar ingredients, or ingredients that aren't even called for the recipe, or those ingredients you can find anywhere in the world, and you decide to choose them from the cheapest place, or they just don't relate. All right, or you're so in a hurry that you decide to choose them from anywhere. You close your eyes and pick somebody, right? And so when we go to the store, we're choosing all this stuff. We're going to choose. And finally, when we know ourselves, right, we're choosing really good. We're like, you know what? Actually, they need to be trustworthy. They need to love children. Actually, you know what? They also need to be spiritual. Spiritual. They need to have a kind heart. Oh, most importantly, they got to be able to communicate. All right, so now, because you have all the ingredients to the perfect spouse, and you have that in your head, and you know exactly what you look for when you're looking for somebody, you're not going to just choose anything. You're going to choose your ingredients, right? So the problem with the world today is that we are not going out with the sole purpose of specific ingredients, that we want to create a family. We want to choose, well, they look good, they have the nice this, that, and they are good in bed, or all these other things, but we aren't choosing things that really matter. So when you go out there and you find a spouse and they don't live up to your expectations, no, you don't live up to your expectations, because you didn't put in the ingredients to get that perfect cake, right? You didn't take the time to get to learn exactly what goes into that cake. You didn't go to the store and pick out the best ingredients, right? You didn't go to the perfect store, and then you didn't take the time to put it together because you're in a rush, because you need it now, because you didn't want to wait. You didn't want to get to know exactly what it was. You just want to go ahead and have what you want right now. Same with your spouse. So when you guys are choosing your perfect relationship or creating your perfect relationships, think about exactly the ingredients that you want to put in those relationships, because more importantly, they are more important than you think they are, and they are going to be the basis of your life, because relationships are the basis of our life. All right, so I'm so glad that you guys have tuned into this video. If you like it, please like it. Again, Kelley the Great. All right, I will see you guys later with another amazing video. Have a great day. Bye.